Hey folks, it's Cement. Once again, welcome back to another Stallone review, and of course another Rocky review, and this time it's Rocky 3. Came out in 1982, I think the same year as First Blood, so pretty good year for Sly. I know at this point, Sly's films were not really hits. The only ones that were hits were Rocky, then Rocky 2, then Rocky 3, and then finally First Blood. But the other films he had done, which have been some good ones, Nighthawks is a great one. I don't mind Fist, at least the first half of it, and but none of them were really that popular. So he did Rocky 3. I know United Artists had released the others, but this was United Artists and MGM because United Artists had fucked up by letting Heaven's Gate be made and that director go apeshit, which that's another story another day. So United Artists was pretty much fucked in the ass, and MGM came by and said, okay, we'll pick you back up. And yeah, Rocky 3, which I love. I love Rocky 3. It's one of my favorites of the series. Rocky 4 will always be a personal favorite of mine, but then after that is Rocky 3. It has so many wonderful things. It has an awesome soundtrack. Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Perfect song for the movie. And I believe that song was nominated for an Oscar. Should have won, but I don't know what the hell beat it. Because everyone knows Eye of the Tiger. What the hell did beat it in fucking 1982? What song? I looked that shit up. But yeah, Rocky 3, it did so many things right. You have a wonderful opponent in Mr. T with the mohawk. Prediction? Pain. Bill Conti once again did a wonderful job on the score. Love that piece of music called Conquest. The fight at the end, I would say it's my favorite Rocky fight. Like Rocky 4 is my favorite movie of the series, but if I had to pick a favorite fight, it would be Rocky 3, since it's really the only Rocky film where Rocky Balboa himself has a bit of moves to him, because in this flick he gets trained by Apollo Creed. So he actually has some moves and some ducking and getting out of the way and some back and forth of that nature, where usually it's just how much shit can he get beat up, and then he gets some punches in as well, which are still great fights. But this one he actually had some moves. He actually had some maneuvers, so to speak. And yeah, I thought, I'm trying to see what the hell, what that, yeah, I have to look it up, but I'm trying to see who the hell beat Eye of the Tiger. I should have looked this up before I put this shit on, but it dumbfounds me. Academy Award nomination, but why the fuck did it not win? Yeah, I'll go this way. I know I'm taking too much time, but fuck it. Just go to the 1980s, and it should be Up Where We Belong from An Officer and a Gentleman. I like that song. Oh, up where we belong. Then, well, okay, I do like that song, I will admit, from An Officer and a Gentleman. Not a bad movie either, but I do like that song. It's okay. I think most people would pick Eye of the Tiger, but, I like both songs, so okay. I do like that song. Okay. There have been worse things with the Oscars. But I mean, if I had to pick, I would pick Eye of the Tiger. I think most people would. Even became a movie starring Gary Busey, Eye of the Tiger, which that was used in. Underrated Gary Busey film, by the way. The training montages are once again very well done. Great cast once again: Stallone, Burgess Meredith, Carl Weathers, Talia Shire, Burt Young, Tony Burton, who was in John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. He's been in the first couple Rocky films as Apollo's manager, and he's back in this and Rocky 4. and he would be in Rocky Balboa as well. You have the Rocky statue in this that gets introduced. You find out that Mickey has been handpicking the opponents for Sly. They weren't setups, but he wanted to protect Rocky. Rocky still wants to fight Mr. T. He just fucked up badly, and that's where also Mickey dies of a heart attack. So Apollo comes in, trains the shit out of him. Rocky's not for it at first. I'll do it tomorrow. There is no tomorrow! Rock, there is no tomorrow! And you have the scene on the beach where him and Adrian talk. For the first time in my life, I'm afraid. And people talk about strong females. Talia Shire is strong in this. When she's standing up to Rocky and saying, you know what, it's okay to be afraid. And she's yelling right back. She's not the meek, quiet girl she was in the first film. She's got some strength to her. She's got some perseverance to her. Standing up to Rocky. So you're not, so what if you're afraid? And I thought it was well directed. I think Sylvester, if I could talk right, I think Sylvester Stallone did a wonderful job directing. And I thought the editing was top notch, especially during the fight at the end. And the fight, I love certain shots where you have Rocky and Mr. T, and they're going back and forth, and the camera sort of pans left to right as they're going back and forth their punches. As that Conquest Bill Conti score's playing, just gets your adrenaline pumping. And I love the sound effects that you hear in this one and in Rocky 4 with the punches. Nowadays they don't do that because it's not realistic. But this, I love that. It brought such impact and it brought such adrenaline to it. This is not realistic. These are fucking movies. So, I mean, it starts out with seeing the ending of Rocky 2 with that great, "Yo, Adrian, we did it! No, I did it!" Eye of the Tiger montage of Rocky winning his next 10 matches, getting famous, magazine covers, commercials, which I guess he got better at, because Beast Aftershave, he didn't do well in Rocky 2. I guess he's gotten better. Maybe he was able to get a coach to help him with commercials. Riding on motorcycles. He's on the Muppet Show. At the same time, Mr. T, he's now the hungry young guy who is scary and will fuck your day up. And there's just a lot of stuff. This is one of those films like Rocky 2 and Rocky 4 that I had taped 3 of them back to back to back on a VHS tape when I was a kid. And anytime I had a Rocky feeling, I popped that in, watched Rocky 2, 3, and 4 back to back. It was always watch all 3 of them. Which worked. It was a great triple feature, great trilogy. And then, like I said before, I saw the first one later, and the first one is a classic, like I said in my review of it. But, I mean, I always remember Paulie Burt being drunk and throwing his drink at the pinball machine of Rocky, smashing the shit out of it. I always remember the match he has with Hulk Hogan, aka Thunderlips. The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball. And Hulk Hogan, man, he was massive as a motherfucker back in the day. Just towering. I mean, Stallone was like at Hulk Hogan's nipple. And like giving him back breakers and suplexes and leg drops. And I felt bad for Sly because I'm like, Sly's ready to be dead as this guy is doing these elbows on him and leg drops on him. And I'm like, man, Sly, he had to have felt something with that. That had to have been somehow painful. And this is a very fun scene. And Paulie's trying to help, and Paulie gets punched. And Rocky, he gets him with some punches, gets him with a sleeper hold, picks him up, timber, throws him out. Some fun sense of humor, like Mickey going, "Run for your life!" Or even when Hulk Hogan is coming out and Paulie goes, "Why are they carrying him?" Burgess Meredith goes, "He's walking." You know, and just a very entertaining sequence. And then they have Mr. T, Clubber Lane, great villain, great opponent. hungry for battle, great look to him. Of course, Mr. T would go on to do the A-Team, which is a show I very much enjoyed. Of course, DC Cab, which I also enjoy, he was in that. And I don't know if by this time he was in one of the, I think maybe it was after he did one of those penitentiary movies, which I haven't seen but I've heard of. But like I said, this is where they introduced the Rocky statue, which is still something that's out there in Philadelphia, from what I understand, unless something changed. And Mr. T starts fucking with him and starts fucking with Adrian, going, if you want a real man, how about you go over to my apartment sometime? I'll show you what a real man is. And Rocky wants to fight, but Mickey goes, no, he'll kill you. You know, the worst thing to happen to you that can happen to a fighter, to a boxer. You got civilized. And you can tell this is sort of a story about how, after success, how success, being a success can make things change where once you have the money, the fame, the glory, how can you be as hungry as you were before? Now that things are working out for you and they have a son and they have all these great things, and how success can sort of neuter you. Same with, like, I mean, you look at directors, look at other people who they get success and then they sort of become not disinterested. Well, some of them do, but playing it safe, or they become, there's another word I'm thinking of. It's on the tip of my tongue. Complacent. They become complacent. And how someone else is going to come out and try to take your place, or try to call you out, or try to say, hey, you're done, I'm the new thing. And that's where, you know, Mickey's having problems with his heart. Rocky goes in, loses badly. Mickey dies. Like I said, Apollo trains him. You know, there is no tomorrow. And Rocky's trying to deal with this. Training's not going well. He's afraid. He admits that he's afraid. Adrian helps him out. And that's where the training gets better. He's getting his eye of the tiger back. He's swimming. Fun bit where he pulls Paulie into the water. He's matching moons with Apollo in front of the mirror. He's running down the beach with Apollo, and they're both jumping in the waves together. And as we get to the fight, where prediction, pain. That final fight is just fantastic. Well edited. Great shots of back and forth. You know, as the camera does like this, but it doesn't overdo it. And this is one of those only times where Rocky shows some actual boxing ability, not just as a slugger and be able to take the punch and have power, but actually using speed and ducking. And again, it made sense because Apollo trains him, and it made it different from the other fights, but still really fucking good. And I also, again, like I said, I love the sound effects to it. And I love how Rocky starts fucking with Clubber Lang. It's crowd pleasing. You ain't so bad. You ain't so bad. You're nothing. You crazy, man. Yeah, well, I'm not breathing heavy. What do you think you're doing, Rod? He's getting tired. He's getting tired. No, I don't care what you think. Just go out and knock his head off. Or even when Apollo's talking to Paulie, oh, he's getting killed out there. And Paulie's going, oh, he's not getting killed. He's getting mad. And Sly has an actual, what do you call it? He has a plan. Rocky has a plan, making Clubber Lang tire himself out. Because Clubber Lang is throwing everything in these punches and tiring him out, and Rocky's taking the hits and then dishing them back out. And I love that. Mr. T's getting more and more tired, then Sly's getting these punches which feel like thunder. Literal thunderstorms of punches. They feel like a thunder crack right next to you. And I love that. People say it's not realistic. I don't give a shit. Because you feel that impact and that pain, that satisfaction. And then when he knocks Clubber Lang down, you feel happy about it, energized, adrenalized. And I love the bit at the end where Apollo, he did all this to ask for a favor for him and Rocky to have one more fight just between them. And it freeze frames and it turns to this painting. You have the Eye of the Tiger song. And you're like, oh, I wonder who won. It was a mystery. That's fine. And then they fucking ruined in Creed by Rocky telling Adonis, oh yeah, Creed won that. It's not a big deal. It is to me. Shit that doesn't need to be fucking explained. Shit that does not need to be fucking told. That was a nice little mystery. I always wonder who won that. Now you don't have to. Fuck Creed. I know I'm alone on that. I don't care. And that's what pissed me off. That Creed got all this praise. But oh, Rocky 3 and 4, they're shit. Rocky 3 and 4. Rocky 3 and 4 can kick the shit out of Creed any day, week, month, and year. Eye of the Tiger, Clubber Lang, excellent fights, excellent montages, Carl Weathers. You still got the story, you still got the characters, still got great music by Bill Conti, especially a piece of music called Conquest. Still has a story to it about a guy who becomes complacent and needs to get his Eye of the Tiger back. Memorable lines of dialogue. At the same time, it's fun. It's not boring. Moves at a very good pace. I mean, the movie is... How long was it? I'm trying to see if it's... Like an hour and 40 minutes, give or take. Went by just like that. Love Rocky 3. I think it's a great sequel. I think it's a great Stallone film. If people who trash Rocky 3 but want to praise something like Creed, that's your own opinion. I'm not going to agree with it at all. Great opponent, great pacing, wonderful training montages, excellent music, and an awesome fight at the end. So Rocky 3 is a crowd pleaser. It's a great sequel, and it's definitely one of my favorites of the franchise. I love Rocky 3. So thanks for watching. Take care. And next time I'll talk about my personal favorite, Rocky 4. Cue that Vince DiCola music right now.